Hello, welcome. Come in and join. This time I am really on BlueWater Oracle. So, welcome. It is the first day of winter. We are moving into winter. So, I'm doing a live here, and if you can hear a noise in the background, it is my washing machine finishing a load. So, it's on its uber power cycle. So, I'm going to use that as part of our reading because this is a powerful weekend. So as my washing machine does its big spin, and is using all of its power to shift the water from my laundry, I'm going to take that as part of the power energy. So today we have winter solstice coming in later today for the Northern Hemisphere, and that is also known as Yule in some places and for some cultures and some groups. We then have the full moon. We are moving into the full moon, and I believe it's completely full tomorrow. And then Christmas comes on Tuesday for those who celebrate and honor Christmas. And of course, we're shifting into the new year. And so lots of stuff going on. So if you, as well as doing whatever holiday preparing you might be doing at this time of year, if you also feel as though your energy is a little ramped up, maybe you feel a little extra all over the place, maybe you feel a little extra vibration happening, you want to engage it. You want to work with it rather than fighting against it. So know that we have these different planetary events going on. We have these different, some would call them religious, some would call them years of development in the making events happening. So just know that for yourself. I think maybe my video and my audio is a little bit slow. If that's the case, I want to apologize. My computer sometimes has a mind of its own. So I hope that the video and the audio are going well. So if they do not sync, please feel free just to not look and just have me on in the background to listen as you like. Or perhaps you're busy running around and you just want to hear some info, but you don't have time to sit and watch. And I welcome that and I honor that. So, excuse me. And so here where I am, I live west of Montreal, so in Western Quebec. It is a very, very rainy day. So we're starting to get some sort of fog areas, some steam zones in our region as the snow is changing with the rain, as the temperature is changing. So it's going to be a very mystical kind of day. What it also does is it makes the trees, those that are evergreen, look extra vibrant because they get that darkness through the water. And the trunks of the other trees, the deciduous trees, tend to go dark as we have the rain affecting them and making them wet. So it's very appropriate, again, for this day. It is the shortest day of the year for us in the Northern Hemisphere. We have the least amount of light, but it's a celebration and it is recognized because it is the welcoming back of light. Days start to get longer as we go from here. And that is one of the reasons that there are celebrations at this time of year. So some would have called them the Return of Light festivals. Some did call them Solstice. Some did call them Yule. And then there were lots of different traditions that came from that. Christianity brought in quite a few of those traditions into the celebration of the Christ, or the baby, the God baby, if you like, the Jesus baby. But to know that it also has a lot in it that represents this return of light. And when Danielle Soiree and I did our holiday money magic, I had an opportunity to look into this a little bit more and to read some quick summaries of some of the history. And what I loved about everything at this time of year, from sort of about the 5th of November through to New Year's, is all about light. It's about the return of light. So there's Diwali, Diwali, that is at earlier in November, which I believe is an Indian festival of light. The Hanukkah also has Festival of Light principles in it, the miracle of being able to have light longer than it was supposed to last. I know there's other things that happened as well, but that is one principle in it. From what I understand, from what I read, solstice, certainly Yule, and these were celebrated in all different ways in the Northern Hemisphere. And then, of course, it was integrated also with the Christian faith. So you can take these as they suit you, and I personally allow you to take whatever suits you and whatever you love and whatever works for you. So what I've done is I have found, this is the first time I'm using this. So this is a very pretty gift I got. It's actually wood, and they've carved places for tea lights. So I have lit for the first time my tea lights on this so that we can celebrate and welcome back the light. So I encourage you today, if you do nothing else, if you're around home or somewhere where you can light a candle, even if it is a safe artificial candle with no actual flame, it doesn't matter. Light a candle. Give yourself that time, that beauty to look at that and to remember how it represents the light of this solstice day. So because it's the shortest day and because light has been getting shorter and shorter, it's very much a representation of us going into the winter months where nature tends to quiet down, where we do a lot of internal reflection. So we're encouraged to do that. We're allowed to do that. It's all good. And when we do that, then we gain insights, we get information, we get feelings, we get knowledge about our own journey, and we get knowledge about how we can influence and do influence others as well. And so I welcome you again to look at that, to allow that reflection to come up. And it just happens to coincide with our new year, what we consider a new year, so how we title the years. So allow this reflection to be for 2018. How did it go? What did you work on? What did you feel? What happened? What came out of it for you, for your life, for your family? And then allow yourself to welcome in what's new for the new year. So as you welcome in the light at this time of year, welcome in also, what are your intentions for the next phase? What are your dreams? What are your goals? How do you want it to feel? And if you're not sure, one thing I've encouraged on my BlueWater Oracle page is I've been doing 10 days of gratitude. So 10 days of identifying 10 things each day that represent blessings, gratitude, that represent the return of the light or bringing in the light, or moments of light in your day. We do have this. We all have this. We all have this all the time. But sometimes we forget. We get busy, especially at this time of year. People are shopping, they're baking, they're cooking. They are wrapping presents. They are creating things for all different age groups in their family. They're maybe settling up things at work, being the end of week, end of year. So we can be very busy. But in that, there are also joyous, beautiful moments. And so the idea of doing the 10 days of gratitude leading up to Christmas was so that we don't just think of one or two things, but really 10 things in your day. And it can be anything. It can be having beautiful candles. It can be gratitude for lovely little clementines that we get traveling kilometers and kilometers for us, for our joy. And if any of you have parents that were in post-World War II living, the idea of having a stocking, my parents had long British wool stockings. They were my grandfather's stockings, and they were used to be filled on Christmas Eve night, overnight, and opened Christmas morning. And at the end of it, you received an orange. If you were lucky, it was an amazing thing. It was a different taste. It was juicy. It was fresh. And we now, most of us, thankfully, can walk into a store and purchase these things whenever we want, especially in winter. So thankful for something like clementines. Thankful for Christmas decorations. I have a little star here. Thankful for a beautiful and safe home, a warm home. Even though today is a very warm day outside, it's still like 2 degrees Celsius. So it's just above freezing. It would be cold outside. I don't think I would survive very well in the cold. I would do my best, but I don't think I'm a very hardy creature. So I admire the fluffy squirrels and bunnies and deer and the birds and the insects and the frogs and everything that manages to hunker down or choose their days where they go out to search for food, water. And meanwhile, they find shelter. So we can do that too at this time of year. We can find shelter. So being thankful for your home, thankful for your family. Maybe somebody gave you today a beautiful smile, a smile that resonated in your body. It resonated through your energy because you could really feel the joy of where it was coming from. That's a moment of light. That's a moment of blessing and gratitude that you can be thankful for. So I encourage you to notice that. Notice them. All right. At a recent networking event that I attended, I'm part of the We2 Women's Entrepreneurial Network in the West Island region of Montreal. And we had a guest speaker. His name is Bhaskar Goswami. He's just put out a CD, so I encourage you to look into his information. Bhaskar Goswami. He also does globaldana.org. But one of the things, the main thing that stuck with me was that he reminded us to notice what is around us in our daily life, in the moments, how we're feeling, how we're reacting, to notice, to be present, to be mindful and be aware. So hopefully I'm bringing you a little bit of that today. If you have a chance to watch and listen, it's my honor to be here for you. And I'm filling you with this wonderful solstice, beautiful energy as we bring in the light. So, for those who don't know me, I am Sheila. I'm Sheila Bicknell. I am BlueWater Oracle. I am an intuitive. I am a spirit speaker. So I work between people and spirit, whether you want to call that intuition, universal spirit, divine guidance, God, spirit team, angels, guides, fairies, dragons. Thankfully and joyously, I have moments of contact with all. And it is so that I can bring you guidance that helps your journey get a bit more efficient, get a bit easier, get filled with more joy, and just knowing that you are connected to more than just you as a person. You as a person is beautiful. You have this amazing body. You have this amazing mind, this personality, this spirit, this energy. You also have a soul. You have a higher self that has been with you on these different journeys for a long time, in many cases. And I believe you have a spirit team. You have a team that's there to support you. Some of them have been here and lived with you, and some of them you will know only through energy and spirit connection. You might see them, you might sense them, you might feel them, or you might work with somebody like me who can interpret what they want to chat to you about and how they want to help. So one of the ways that I do that is I use oracle cards. So oracle is the idea that people would have in more ancient history consulted the oracle. They would have consulted somebody who did discuss beyond the veil so that we can get insight from all these different layers that are there to help us. So it's intuitive, it's psychic, it's fascinating, it's enjoyable, it can be challenging, it can be very deep and meaningful, it can be fun and silly, because that's life and that's all the universe that we have. So I use various decks during readings. This is the Earth Magic Oracle deck. And so I'm going to pull a card for us today on Solstice Day. So take a nice deep breath, relax. Relax your shoulders, relax your neck, that space between your eyes. Relax in your chest, allow your breathing to calm. Allow your heart to speak to you. Allow your belly to relax. Calming yourself for a few moments. What can we get that are insights today? There we go. So today, I pulled the DNA card, the karma card. So this card has the visual of the DNA strands, the DNA cells. It also has two serpents intertwined. And some groups will call this the tree of life. Okay. For some groups, serpents represent not so great things. For others, they are part of life, part of the cycle of life, the giving of life. So here we have the DNA, the karma card. So on this day of deep reflection, I encourage you to really take a moment to breathe into yourself. Breathe into your journey. And allow what wants to come up to chat to you to do that. It feels as if there are certain messages that you kind of been hearing. They've been maybe there a little bit on the surface, just under the surface. It's a little poke, it's a little nudge, it's a little chat. But then you close the book and you go and do other stuff. So this is to say, give yourself a moment to really open to that page and see what words want to explore with you. See what feelings want to come up. This is to help you reflect on your year, to help you get through and really prosper in the next 4 days, 5 days, including today. And to really see, okay, what are the real intentions that I want to be sending to next year, that I want to be bringing with me, carrying with me into next year. So this is the DNA, the karma card. Okay. So this is very deep info, and this is info that is part of our lives for longer than this lifetime. Yes, I believe in past lives. I believe our soul has been on a journey. We learn stuff in all different ways. And so things sometimes are coming forward, coming up, so that we can be aware, we can learn, we can feel better, we can feel more enhanced in our life, and we go from there. Okay, so that's one card. All right, so I know the audio and the video might be a little disjointed. My apologies. The joys of live video is that sometimes the computer has its own plan. So we're just sitting in it. We're enjoying time together. Remember, I have the light for the Yule, the solstice, the candles. We've just pulled the DNA card from the Earth Magic. So that deep energy, that deep knowing that is really a part of us. I knew it, Deanna. The second I saw you, I knew that that card was going to resonate with you. So Deanna writes, of course, last night I was reading about DNA, energy, charge, and programming. Hi, Deanna. Hi. Happy solstice. Yes, it made me laugh. So perfect timing. I was just chatting about that DNA karma card. All right, so I'm pulling another deck. This is from the Gateway Oracle cards. So this is the card that I pulled. It's the one that has sort of highlighted itself. So the Earth Magic deck is by Stephen Farmer. This one is by Denise Lynn, and they're Hay House produced decks. So then we get the Expecting Miracles card. Okay, Expecting Miracles. So we are on the day of light, right? We are welcoming back in the light. And this is a beautiful card. It looks like it represents that. It has some plant life. It has what looks like a representation of a lotus at the bottom. It has beautiful light in the background and open hands welcoming it. So I would say not only expecting miracles, but really welcoming the miracles. And that goes back to what I said about noticing. So when miracles happen, when great things happen, you want to be aware, you want to notice them. And that way You feel them. You let them really resonate in your body, in your system, in your energy. And then you also are more open to receiving more. There are, I would say, critics of this kind of feeling that a law of attraction, expecting, looking for good things is not necessarily a good way to approach life, because maybe it puts us in unrealistic expectations. I had a great conversation with somebody once in response to some reading we were doing, and what came out of it for me was that it's a reminder of balance. It's a reminder of balance. So yes, to be expecting the best. Yes, to be noticing the best. And then be in balance with the rest of your life. So sure, there will be things that are not easy, that are challenging, that are presenting difficult moments for you. And that's okay, right? That's life. That's part of this balance. But then if you only focus on the negative stuff, the stuff that's challenging, the stuff that's difficult, basically, how do you feel? Do you feel wonderful? Does it lift you up? Do you feel good? Or do you get heavier and heavier, more weighed down, more challenged, and things seem to spiral and roller coaster more and more? So it's finding that balance, living in the reality you're living, but also really noticing when the great things happen. Okay? Noticing when the great things happen. And then, yeah, you're expecting more. You're expecting more miracles. You're expecting more great things. And don't forget that we are on this journey, and it is a puzzle. It is a big, big web. Thankfully, I am not running the show. I don't even need to see all the webs. But what I am aware of is knowing that there is interconnectivity that sometimes I can't see and understand just yet. So sometimes something that is very, very difficult to be living through creates something wonderful, or allows something wonderful to come through from there. And you may notice it in the moment. I think the more aware you are and the more open to the miracles and the blessings, the more you will have a sense, okay, there's more going on in this challenge than maybe I'm aware of. So I'm going to do my best to work through it with honor, with respect, self-care, care for others, kindness. And then it gets easier to continue to see those blessings. And in that moment where it's really difficult, you may not be so weighed down because you can see that balance. And yeah, there's a balance also between doing things that you see that are welcoming blessings and gratitude and miracles and what your intentions are, and taking actions, right? We need to take actions. So here it says, miracles are blossoming in my life. So what I talked about earlier was my 10 days of doing gratitude and blessings and miracles. And so that I posted a few posts in my BlueWater Oracle page. You're more than welcome to join in if you like. I've been doing 10 gratitude things. I don't always post all of them, but I post some just to give you an idea. And I've been doing them myself. So it was 10 days leading up to Christmas. So we're partway through. So you're more than welcome to do it. And it's to really enhance and allow ourselves to see that gratitude, to see those blessings at this what might be kind of a challenging time, very busy time, very beautiful and sparkly, but it can also be heavy, lots of things to do, and not everyone sees eye to eye on stuff. So we had the DNA karma card with the beautiful tree of life represented by the snakes, the serpents. We had the expecting miracles card. Okay. So really opening up to it, opening up. So notice where you have that little niggle that says, no, it's not going to happen. Notice where you have that point that goes, oh, I don't really think I believe in all this. And what if? What if you opened? What if you said, okay, I am going to notice the great things in my life. I am going to spend a few moments to feel how good it feels when something great happens, to notice when somebody is lovely to me, and then go from there. Open, just open. Hands open, receiving, welcoming in. Right? And then you'll see signs, you'll get insights, you'll get feelings, you'll feel support, you'll get support from people, and then it roller coasters from there. But you are the one who gets to do the balance. You're the one who's in charge of part one. So you get to choose. How do I feel? How do I want to balance? Yes, what if, the leap of faith, the trust. Yeah. And I've been playing a lot more with the what if something is possible, because that opens up possibilities. It opens up opportunity. Instead of saying, no, that's not possible. No, that's never happened. No, it's not likely. Well, you've closed. All the doors are closed. Whereas if you go, ooh, that could be fun. What if that's possible? What if that could happen into my life? What if somebody knows how to do this, even though I don't yet? What if somebody could come in to help me? What if I have support from my spirit team and I'm going to learn how to connect a little bit more? Or I'm going to seek out people so that I can connect more. Okay? All good. All right. So we are continuing on our solstice journey here today. So a couple of people join in. As I said at the beginning, I apologize if my video and audio are not well synced. Cheers if you're having anything. This is a cup of tea for me. In my very silly but cute mug, let me show it to you. It says it's Christmas. Don't just stand there, jingle something. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh, so it's fun. All right, reminding us to have fun, to play in this time of year. So Solstice Day, we're welcoming in the light. So if you're just joining in, thank you for coming, welcoming in the light. It officially comes in later on today. I think it's about 5:30 approximately, where we are. And then we move into full moon, right? Yes, cute mug. Eh? So then we move into full moon. So don't forget your energy. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of reflecting. You can reflect on things. You can ask to release stuff. You can ask to bring in more. It's a beautiful and powerful time of year. So this leads me to my Native Spirit Oracle cards. So this is another deck by Denise Lynn. I have a few of her decks. I love her energy. I love her wisdom. So I bring in her decks to help me out. So, okay, so as I'm shuffling, sometimes what will happen is that the undercard will feel like it's stuck to my finger. And then I always double check, is that the right one? And I get a little yes confirmation. And if I'm still not sure, I just hold it. And if I have zero desire to shuffle more, then that's the card. So this is a power deck for me. So we get the flowing river. Beautiful. So sunrise or sunset, depending on where it's coming from. Flowing river. Okay. So for some people this weekend, with the solstice and the full moon, it's going to be a really emotionally charged weekend. But it doesn't feel sad with it. What it feels as though is that you have it's like an electric flow that's in your body, and it's tied to the emotions. So the more that you allow them to flow, the more that you allow their experience to play and work with you in your life, the more you'll find that other stuff will flow. The better your body will respond to you. I think part of this might be for you, Deanna, and I think it'll be for other people who are going to watch as well. I think it's a general reading also, but I do hear certain things for you, Deanna, so receive it as you like. So it feels as though sometimes there are emotions that, we can be really comfortable with our emotions and not all at the same time. because they bring up stuff, they make us aware of things. And generally in our society, we are not taught how to receive them and what to do with them. We're taught to put them away and put them down, okay, and store them for later. But what happens is that the storing for later, most of the time we never get to it because we're masters of avoidance. We are masters of getting busy with something else. So this weekend, with today, with this, we've been in this dark reflective. We're still going to be in the reflection phase of winter because nature and us are calming down a little bit. There's not a lot of light, but the light is coming back, right? We are welcoming back in the light with gratitude. So as the emotions are there, as they want to bring in this electric energy and remind us of this electric connectivity we have, we want to utilize them and to really notice them. And I feel that this can happen very, very quickly. So if you are somewhere where perhaps in our human society, it is not so easy or so appropriate, or you don't really want to burst into tears in the middle of the grocery store with everybody doing Christmas shopping. But if you feel that there's that flow, that rush of emotions that is maybe bringing up either sadness or concern or memory of something, and it's coming up in an emotional flow, just give yourself a few moments to breathe it. Just give yourself a few moments to feel it in the body and go, oh, what's that? Oh yeah, I'm feeling a bit overcome or overwhelmed or emotional, or I'm remembering that situation that's bringing me into a bit of fear or a bit of anger, or the opposite. I'm feeling that intense joy, that beauteous joy from some circumstance that I'm seeing or that I'm a part of. So let it really flow. If you're able to let it fully flow and open, go for it. If you really would prefer not to because you're surrounded by people and you're not sure how they're going to react, I understand. Then just give yourself a moment to go, oh yeah, okay, I see you, I feel you, I am a part of that emotion. I am allowing it to flow. I'm just not allowing it to come out fully, but I still am going to let it flow in such a way that it can radiate through your body as much as it needs to, but allow you to still stay in a comfortable human space. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So it's really that flow, that energy of the body that you want to play with. You want to allow it to bring that emotional essence into your body. The full moon tomorrow is also really good for that emotional connection because it ties in with the water. It ties in with that deep emotional nature of us. So depending on whether you can see it or not, you know the full moon is there. In fact, you know the moon is always there, but sometimes we can see it than others. So having this full moon, it brings up these emotions more. So be patient with yourself, be kind with yourself, and let things flow. This is also speaking to if you're going through something or you're trying out something and you're whacking against walls all the time. Take a step back. Where is the flow? Identify where something flows and take one little action into that direction and see how it takes you. So think like a fish working with the water, not working against it. So yes, there are fish that jump up the water and they're super powerful and we honor them. But most of the time we want to be working with the water, especially as humans. It would just make it much easier for us because we're not designed for maximum swimming ability to begin with, okay? Yeah, okay, yes, it started yesterday. Absolutely. Well, the full moon, we know that they gear in. The solstice, like planetary stuff doesn't happen in 1 second. It gears in and it gears out. Absolutely. So yeah, emotions, allowing, expressing all emotions. Good for you. Good for you. And remember that balance. So we were talking, I don't know if you were already on when I was talking about the balance between choice and attracting things. So remember that balance. So expressing all emotions, but there's also a balance of when and how and to what degree, so that yes, you are honoring you completely, but you're also honoring others. So there may be a time and a place, there may be a degree. As long as you are recognizing what is important for you, whether you actually verbalize it to somebody else may or may not be necessary in that moment, because it really depends on you and what you're experiencing and feeling and needing. Okay, so feeling it might be a way to say, I'm aware of it, thank you very much, but I don't need to necessarily pull it all out there all the time. But you could, some people do. So see how it works best for you. Okay, so we got that flowing river. I am just going to grab a tissue. My apologies. A little active nose. There we go. Apologies. Okay, so speaking of flowing, flowing nose. Get a little sip of tea again. Cheers. And also remember the water, right? If we are working a lot with emotions, the planets, the moon, you want to be well hydrated. So especially at this time of year, schedules may be different. There may be more alcohol than at other times for some people. So for sure, you want to be bringing in more water to drink. It can be warm, it can be cool, it just depends on you. But pure water or water with lemon or herbal tea, something that is going to allow the water to go into your cells, because our first card was DNA. So we know our cells are reminding us of stuff. Okay, so we did these cards. Just to review, if you're popping in, DNA karma, and then the expecting miracles. Miracles are blossoming in my life, and then the flowing river. Right? So I think let's do one last card from the Earth Magic deck. The Soul Coaching deck doesn't feel like it wants to chat right now, so that's okay. We respect that. Different messages for different days and different purpose. So a beautiful deep breath. Breathe and relax. Okay, as I shuffle, so I've got the card on top. Ancestors, generations. Okay, so when you get from this deck the DNA karma plus the ancestors, generations, we know that we are bringing things forward from the past, right? There's another serpent here, the hands representing different people in our lives, those who are present in our lives, part of our generational map, those who have passed over and are now in spirit, those we know, those we did not know. It's all part of our ancestry. And I believe that ancestry can be on a cellular level, meaning that there is a genetic connection, but I believe that ancestry can also be energetic. So somebody who is living in one region of the world can feel a very tying draw to the ancestry and the lineage and the knowledge of another part of the world. I believe that. I think that that's very possible, especially in this world where people are shifting and moving so much. So the other part of this is that this is a time of year with a lot of ceremony. Now, many people would say, oh, I don't do anything religious. I don't do any ceremony, which is very possible. But do they have a tradition on how they open presents in the morning? Do they have a tradition on the food? Maybe they say grace or say gratitude moment. Maybe the grandparents always do one kind of thing and the kids do another. These are all ceremony. Ceremony represents what it represents to you. And you bring in or leave off what doesn't suit you. It's part of tradition. It's part of storytelling. It's part of connecting all these dots that make us the rich and dynamic humans that we are. So as I say that, two things come in. One is remembering some of the traditions that you love and appreciate and that are of great value from other people who have passed over in your life. You can also welcome them in energy so that you have a bigger gathering, and that knowing that they're coming in from a place of welcome and joy and sharing. So you're honoring your ancestry. The other thing with this card that's coming forward is that this is a time to share, a time to share between the generations, a time to share between the elders and the youth, between those who are going through different phases of life and those who have been through those phases. This is a time for storytelling and for reminding. So I encourage you, anybody who's watching this now, Deanna, who's with me, bless you, anybody else who might catch this later or have a sense of the energy, if you have elders in your family, I encourage you, get them to tell the stories, no matter what the stories are. Get them to tell the stories. We learn through the stories historically, right? Deanna writes, rituals are intrinsically human, part of our experience. Absolutely. And the stories are too, whether they're written or verbal. Verbal was always there first, right? And in some cultures, it's still the verbal tradition of the stories. So as you welcome in your ancestors, those who are from your direct genetic lineage, as well as those who you feel connected to, those who are part of your spirit team, remember them in your traditions. Remember them in your moments. If you can't do it with a group of people, then do it privately. And it can be just a few moments. To me, it doesn't have to be days and days and gorgeous, beautiful setups and tons of stuff. It can be, but I think it can just be having a quiet moment where you recognize and you remember and you give gratitude and thankfulness. Okay? Then tell the stories. So if you remember something about a grandparent, tell that story. Allow people to feel their lineage so they can continue to welcome in the knowledge as it is brought forward. They can continue to welcome in the experience as they learn it. And we as a whole will benefit. We always benefit from learning and experiencing together. So we have the ancestors wishing us a beautiful winter solstice, Yule for some people, lead up to Christmas for others, full moon ceremonies for others. Celebrate as you like. At the beginning, I suggested lighting some kind of a candle, artificial or real, for the solstice, welcoming in the light back in as the planets shift. I also put out the clementines of abundance, reminding us of fruit. I put some evergreen, not real, but I have it, just to remind us of the timing of the year and that evergreen, that welcoming of that beautiful visual from nature that we get here in the north. The star as well, because that to me represents so much and in so many different stories, plus energy, all right? So I thank you for joining, if you popped in or if you stayed, like Deanna stayed for part of it. And I want to wish you all the best for the holiday season, however you celebrate. And remember that when I said I did some quick research on all different backgrounds at this time of year, that celebrations, that there is light in all of them, okay? There is light happening. And so bring in that kindness, bring in that joy, bring in that heart-centeredness of light in whatever way represents it to you, okay? So I think Evelyn just joined on. Hi, Evelyn. I am just signing off, so I invite you to watch it on replay. Welcoming in the light. Happy solstice. You're already later in the day where you are, so I welcome you. And I wish you beautiful time with family, friends, time with spirit, time with your own essence. And I look forward to our next time together. All the best. Wishing you well. Sheila Bicknell, BlueWater Oracle. And I have my cards here. A review. Today's cards were DNA Karma. Then we went to Expecting Miracles. Then we did the Flowing River and into our ancestors. So beautiful gathering for today. My pleasure, my honor, and I wish you all the best. And I love to hear your comments and to hear your stories. So please feel free to share. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Happy solstice, happy Yule. All the best. All the best, blessings, and peace and light to you and yours. Until next time, bye-bye.